course of your career, obviously you've had a tremendous career, 25-0, 22 knockouts. So not too many guys go the distance with you. What would you say has been your toughest fight of your career? Maybe the fight where you've learned the most. Just maybe fights that because of certain fights you've gotten that made you better.
I mean, I wouldn't say they've been my toughest fights, but the fights I've been had, the past 6 fights, they've been, up against really good opposition. I feel like maybe if I could say the toughest one would be against Anthony Dirrell, because he was a veteran, he's a really good fighter. He's a slick boxer, moved around a lot. A lot of people thought I wasn't going to stop him, and I went in there and stopped him. And, that fight really taught me a lot. But, I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm getting stronger. I'm learning the game more and more. And I'm getting better at these 12-round fights. My last 4 fights, I've been landing at a little bit under 50%. I think it's about 48 or 49%. So that says a lot. As a power puncher, if you land 49% of your shots, that means that you're doing something right.
Tell us about how you got into boxing. How did you get? I remember seeing you and your brother at Wildcard Gym, years ago. But how did you guys go? How did that all start? And everybody always has an interesting boxing story. What's your boxing story?
So the way I started is just, being the younger brother, of a boxer already. My brother was the one who started boxing. I think he started at 6 years old. So, I'd always, peek my head in the gym when they'd be training. And, my dad finally told me, one day come in here, let's start training. So I was about 2.5, maybe almost 3. But, it was just a little kid learning how to throw punches and stuff. And I guess from there, it just really stuck. My dad would make me run with my brother, at 5 in the morning. Then I'd have to train after school. And it just stuck like that, man. And it was honestly, it was basically my first love. It was a passion that I had it. I love boxing so much that I would watch boxing. I would watch boxing all day. I'd watch Prince Nassim Hamed, what's his name? Costa Sioux, Marco Antonio Barrera, Oscar De La Hoya is one of my favorites. And, I was just a fan of boxing, Roy Jones Jr., obviously. And I just, that was, really something I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't really know I was going to be a world champion, but I told myself, hey, I'm going to give it my all. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And, to this day, everything's been going pretty good. So I feel like right now the sky's the limit. And it's funny that when you guys offered me to give me the interview yesterday, I was thinking about Paulie, and I was like, oh shit, I remember sparring Paulie when I was like 13, 14 years old. It's just funny, man. I've been here for a long time. I've been 25 years old. I've been boxing for like 23 years old, or 23 or 22 years already, man. So it's been a wild ride, but it's been a one of the best moments of my life is boxing. Yeah, and that was the thing about me too. Like, my passion for boxing is so big that when I train, I don't even feel like it's work. I could train for hours and hours because I love it so much and I love the game. Even when I'm done training, like I'll watch boxing. I'll watch a lot of boxing fights, and I'm still trying to pick up things. You know what I mean? And it's not work to me. It's just passion. It's something I love to do, so I have no problem doing it.
And bro, when you talk like that, you make me realize like the old days, because that's how I was when I started boxing. I used to be done with the gym. I'd either stick around and try to wait for like if anybody of the champions. I started in Gleason's gym, and I'd wait if any of the champions would come in and train, and I would watch them, or I would go home and watch. Just at that time we had VHS, just pop in a VHS tape that my trainer gave me of some old fights and stuff like that. I was just living it every day. But then like as you get older, as I got older, man, other distractions start to come in. And it's like you start to resent it, man. And I realized when I stopped having that kind of passion, I realized like that was it. You know what I mean? Like, I stopped getting better and I stopped improving. So the fact when you're telling me these things, that means nothing. That means you have an insulated passion. It's not, nothing's breaking through to it. And that's the way you keep improving. A guy like you continues to get better because of that. You continue to improve because of that. Because the ceiling can be touched. I always tell people, I said in an interview early in my career, I never forgot this quote that I told this reporter. I said, when you reach for the stars, you're never gonna actually touch the stars. So you're never gonna be satisfied. You're gonna keep reaching and keep reaching and keep reaching. And that kind of enthusiasm to keep reaching, just continues to make you better and better. But once you get tired of reaching, you stop improving and sort of start to fade away, So it makes me happy to see because, you're a fan favorite, bro. Your fights are always exciting. So when we hear you talking about how much you love this, we know you're going to stick around for a long time.
Yeah, and that's the thing about me too, bro. I've never been like big-headed or been like that cocky, be like, oh, I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. I already know everything. I feel like I listen to everybody. I even look at comments, and sometimes if it's some truth to it, then I'll put work in it. You know, I mean, you're always gonna learn, man. There's always gonna be somebody out there trying to outgrind you, outwork you. So, you know, you got to be ready for any situation. Sometimes, you know, if you're a big puncher, you got to learn how to box too, and sometimes you got to learn how to be in there. So you might as well learn how to do it in the gym, you know, to be prepared for when these situations come in the ring.
Yeah, and that's where the key sparring comes in. The championship level sparring comes in. The high level sparring comes in. That's where we you end up learning those things. You know, sort of a baptism by fire kind of situation. You know, but I want to go into the super middleweight division. You know, we earlier in the interview we talked about how it's a stacked division. Who piques your eye? First of all, before we go into who you want and the top guys, who do you think doesn't belong there that sometimes gets a lot of shine? You know, is there anybody that you think, you know, because this division is getting a lot of talk right now. You know, more and more guys are in there. Is there anybody that you think, they talk about this guy, but, you know, he's not really of that level like the rest of the guys?
I mean, well, the person, not to say that he's not on that level, but the person who hasn't put any work in is probably getting the biggest shot out of all of them is CHARLO. You know what I mean? He's never had a fight at 168. And, you know, I've seen that he's in talks to fight with CANELO. You know, I feel like, you know, he's basically skipping the line. I mean, I understand, you know, as a promoter standpoint that, you know, that's probably a big fight to make. But, like, you know what I mean? Give everybody the fair opportunity to get the fight with the champion. You know, I've been fighting title eliminators back to back. You know, this fight's going to be a WBC interim title. And then somebody who's coming from 160 to 168, you know, he gets a fight for all the belts, you know, the first fight at 168. You know, it's not really fair to me, you know, but I understand it. There's a lot of politics in this, so I really don't try to beat myself up about it. You know, the good thing I think about myself is, you know, I barely turned 25 in December 17th. So, you know, I got more than enough time right here. And now I'm getting more experience. You know, I know exactly what I'm doing in the ring. I'm getting stronger. So, I mean, it's fine. But as of all the guys right now, I feel like there's a lot of, I don't want to talk bad about anybody. I feel like there's a lot of great fights to be made at 168. You know, you still got Caleb Plant. I would love to fight him. I got David Morrell. I would love to fight him. Edgar Berlanga. You know, I heard Boo Boo Andrade is coming up to 168 too. So, I mean, there's still a lot of great fights to be made, man. I feel like CANELO, everybody just wants to fight CANELO because he's a lottery ticket, obviously. But for me, if I can't get those fight with CANELO, like the 4 fights I just mentioned are some great fights. And those will be great experiences for me to go up to when I get a fight with CANELO. You know, give me all the experience I need to beat CANELO. Because I feel in my heart I can beat CANELO. I just need the opportunity.